In my public argument, I'm going to be arguing that downtown Tucson is for all people. My first question is, what is U of A? U of A is a university at collegiate level that is located in Tucson, Arizona. The student population is 43,088 students, and I see it as a community where you can be part of several different organizations such as Greek life, different clubs, sports, and more. It's also a place for students to further their education so that they can have a successful future. This is possible through the connections that they make with their peers, teachers, and even people in Tucson that aren't necessarily affiliated with the university. My next question is, what is downtown? Downtown seems to be a good way from the campus. There's a lot of nightlife, food, culture, art, entertainment, special events, and a connection to the University of Arizona. There's lots of things to do at night, such as like clubs, getting food, and a lot of murals that you can check out too. In downtown, there's also a church. You can go thrift shopping. There's different places such as movie theaters, and there's also special events that can be held here. As far as the university, there's a couple buildings for the University of Arizona majors, such as architecture. The next slide I'm talking about is the panel that we had, where we had local leaders from Tucson speak to us in a classroom. This is a step for us in the right direction of us becoming more involved and working with people from Tucson. The name of the panel was Big Change Little City, and this is really important for us, and it was a good move on our teachers' behalf because we got to work with Wildcat Riders, which was a direct connection with high school students from a high school in downtown Tucson, and we were able to hear from local leaders their perspective on like the students of at the university and our connection to the people of Tucson. They gave a new perspective because coming into this project, I used to think that we needed to come here, get our education in 4 years, and then we can move on to wherever we wanted. But they were giving me more examples and a new perspective on how important it is for students at the university to stay in Tucson longer than just 4 years. This is because you can make a lot of connections with people so that you can understand your path that you're going to take in life depending on whatever major. And I think that hearing from this panel and working with the Wildcat Writers was a huge step in the right direction for us to improve our relationships. So my first question is, who is it for? This is about downtown, and downtown is for the University of Arizona students and the local people of Tucson. This is a getaway for the students from campus with a variety of food and nightlife choices because it's such a different environment. And in the picture we have students working on a project in one of the schools in downtown locations, people getting food at the Hub ice cream, people celebrating Mexican Independence Day, and then in the last picture we have a picture of the new streetcar location, which provides a very easily accessible location for students to use to get around, and this is very encouraging for students to be able to travel to downtown as well. This slide, I'm asking who should it be for, and this should be for the students and the local people. This is because on the previous slide I was talking about how downtown is more focused on the students rather than all the people as a whole. It's important that we work on being really open to all the people that are here because downtown isn't only the campus, and it should be open in a way for us to interact and make connections with the people that are from the city. Now here comes the question of who else. Not only do the UA students and the local Tucson people go to downtown, but there's other categories of people that we can focus on. There's actually people from Tucson who attend the university, and people who go to the university and stay in Tucson, which we should account for because we need to account for their interests, and they can lead by example of how staying in Tucson after going to the university has made a positive impact on their life. There's also people known as snowbirds, who are people that come during different seasons. For me personally, I know one of my best friends is from Tucson, and then she went to the university, and she is giving me information and how she's used to go to downtown, and she still goes there now, and we've gone together to get food for entertainment and more. So is downtown exclusive or inexclusive? From my point of view right now, it's exclusive as it's catering mainly to University of Arizona students, and it's not as welcoming and attractive to the local people here. This is because most of the people that go to downtown and live there and spend their time in nightlife are college students, but there's more to downtown than just nightlife, because there's a lot of like ways that we can interact with local officials and leaders to help make a positive difference for the city. So although there's some changes and ways we can move forward to make a bigger impact on how we interact with the people from Tucson, there are some ways that we already do interact and we're open on our campus to them. For example, like our library is open to the public only until 10 p.m. when the students have it to themselves. And we also have the rec center, which is open to the public for like them to use any of the workout machines or attend any of the workout classes that may be offered. We also have the annual carnival, which happens every year on the mall, which is a student-run event. And lastly, we have the Tucson Book Fair, which is the largest in the country, and this gathers most people of Tucson. And in all these ways, we're making our school open to the people around us, which is a step for us in the right direction. So, on how we can open the space, mingling and interactions with both quote unquote worlds, the two worlds being the university students and the people of Tucson, are really important. So working with people from Tucson, we need to be really inviting and not judge them for being here, since we're only, like, a lot of the students that go here think they're only going to be here for 4 years. Like the ones that are from Tucson, like the local officials and leaders, they're the ones who are going to be really helpful for us to like gaining more knowledge, to understand like what we might want to do with our lives, and like they can also help us build relationships. So we can continue like our education and get a job somewhere better, or just like with whatever like we want to do with our futures. It's also like really important that we make connections with them, to build relationships with one another, like to help build up companies and businesses. And it's also really important to them that we come and we stay more than just the 4 years in college, because that way we can help make the entire city better. So who my presentation impacts, clearly if you can tell, the two categories are the University of Arizona students and the local people of Tucson. So this really impacts the students who may be looking for a job, and those who are looking to make connections with people and companies, like, or like in businesses, or just like local leaders. And the ways that like the people that are from Tucson who might be impacted by this are maybe like shop owners, business owners, and local officials. Um, the students are really impacted by like my topic, because if we think about staying in Tucson, then it's kind of more meaningful, because then you're working on like giving back and like helping build up your own home. And the local people of Tucson are really impacted by this, because by talking to the leaders on the panel, like I could easily tell how important it was to them that we stay and help better this city. And I can tell how passionate they are, because even one of the leaders she spoke, she wrote poems, but she also like wrote about how like wrote about and spoke about how important it was that we come back and we stay here longer than just the 4 years, because she really does care about this city. So for us to be more cohesive, we need to be able to collide with each other better. So that means working together, being open and inviting to everyone, and making deeper connections and relationships. This can be like easily. This can be an easy transition by finding like common interests with others. For example, like if you're interested in working like in politics, like think about talking to like our local leaders here. Or if you want to go into like anything with like management or businesses, like there's a ton of people that you can talk to. You just have to be like willing to reach that hand out and like go out and like hear about like their path and like what they did. And this is really like effective and helpful for us as students to be able to hear from people like that are just in Tucson, because then we get to know like maybe they went to the university and see like where their education took them as well. After completing all of my research for this project, along with previous assignments, I believe my argument still stands and has even grown that downtown really should be for the people of Tucson and the university students. The most impactful research and time spent for this project for me was the panel, Big Change Little City, held for us with Wildcat Writers, because I was given the opportunity to interact with high school students from Tucson and hear back from local leaders on how important it is to them that us university students stick around and take on our own roles as a leader in this town. This was a great chance for us to help and give back to the city we spend most of our time in as college students, and we can benefit greatly from the relationships and connections made if we reach out to the people of Tucson. I hope that after my presentation, other people will start to see, understand, and make a difference to bettering the Tucson city as a whole.